Hey guys, welcome back to Alex and Taylor's vlog. Tonight we're gonna be making a gingerbread house, and per somebody's request, we're gonna tell a story of how we met. So let's get into it.
We have gumdrops, little spree candies, I think. Peppermints, oh no. And little round colorful spheres.
Balls.
Yeah.
Um,
And this is our house. It's kind of big. And we're gonna make it really pretty. Okay.
it's very difficult. I want to try this at home.
Yeah. We had to get a level 2 house because apparently that's really easy. Alrighty, icing. We're gonna start by icing the whole bottom, I think,
Yeah.
to make it stick maybe. We met at an orientation, college orientation.
Wait, Tech.
Yes, and the place was crowded. Like, this was pre-COVID, so it was a full auditorium. And I was running late, of course, and him and his mom were like sitting kind of towards the front, but on the side. So me and my mom decided we were gonna go sit next to them because they looked friendly and I didn't know anyone else that was there.
Neither did we.
So it's a row of 4 seats and it's his mom, him, my mom, and me.
We got to the place and sat down on our row, and it'd been a while since I'd been in a relationship, and my mom was kind of sitting there watching the door behind us at the entrance of the auditorium, and like checking girls out, I guess, and trying to see if she found one that thought would be a good match for me. And there was a couple girls that walked in. She'd be like, "What do you think of her?" I went through 3 or 4 girls and just weren't hitting on much. And then finally, Taylor and her mom walk in, and my mom says, "Oh, Alex, I think this is the one." And I was like, "Yeah,
He
right."
was starstruck.
I wouldn't say all that. But I turned around and I saw a pretty cute girl and her daughter Taylor beside her.
I hate you. I hate you.
And I saw him and turned back around. I was like,
He was so nervous.
well, and nothing's ever gonna happen with that, obviously. So I turned around and started playing on my phone. And my mom was sitting there watching him like a hawk, of course, with no courtesy. And she said, "Alex, I think they're coming to sit beside us." I said, "No, there's over 300 seats in this auditorium. There's no way they're coming to sit beside us." And she said, "No, I really think they are." And I was like, "Well, you should stop watching them then, so you don't make it awkward." And sure enough, Taylor and her mom come and sit down right beside us. Her mom sits beside me, and Taylor sits down on the outside
All
next
the
to the
way
aisle.
on the end, so far away.
And immediately,
Oh no, I forgot about
immediately, I got about as nervous as
it. His face was
Anyone.
so like this red the entire night.
But
It was cute.
I don't think I ever would have said a word to her if it wasn't for the person leading the orientation.
We had to do like a icebreaker. And so he was like, talk to the person like next to you. If you don't, like, we're gonna pull you up here and make you talk. So we were scared. And so I was in like the worst mood that night. And so I turned to him. Like the prompt was like you had to ask like what they're going to school for and stuff. And so I turned to him and I was like, "What are you here for?"
Most
And
brutal first words I've ever gotten from a girl.
He was so like, I don't think you said a word for like 10 seconds. Like, you just stared at me and I was like, I felt so bad. I was like, I am so sorry. It was not supposed to come out like that.
But I told her I was there for automotive technology, which is what I'm doing now.
His mom summed it up and said he likes working on cars, and that's. I was like, oh, that's what that means.
Doesn't that sound like an attractive man? And
Cars.
then I asked you what you were there for, and she wanted to. You were going
For business,
business, yes.
and then
Yeah.
transferring to UNCW, which I still am.
Oh, yeah. Tells me what she's doing here.
That was about it. We really just.
No, that wasn't it.
Oh.
Because the name thing.
Oh yeah.
So I knew her name. She told me her name was Taylor. And after that, we had like an hour and a half of just like the people talking about like what to expect at school and all that
Instruction
stuff. Yeah. Which I obviously didn't pay attention to.
Someone was busy doing something else.
I was searching to find a Taylor on
like every platform.
Instagram,
Hold
Facebook, Twitter. Googled her. Didn't find anything. Couldn't find anything with just Taylor. So I was like, I'm gonna have to figure out her last name somehow.
Mystery.
So we came back from intermission and they had to do a roll call to make sure everybody came back, because if you didn't come back,
You would have to like do the whole orientation again or something.
Yeah.
It wouldn't like count.
yeah. So went a 15-minute break and we all just sat there the whole time and come back from the break and they start doing a roll call, and basically they say if your last name starts with an A, stand up, and they counted how many A's they had to make sure they had the right amount, and they went down the whole alphabet, and I was like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do if I have just one letter. Like, I really would like to have the whole last name so I can find her. And I waited and waited. They went through the whole alphabet, and they finally get to P, and my last name's Pierce, so I stand up, and ironically enough, she stands up too. And we were the first.
It was so awkward. Like we were both standing up
Yeah.
and we would not look at each other.
And I was we were the only last name or the only letter to be missing someone.
Oh yeah.
So we're all standing up, and the people at the front are like confused because we're missing someone out of the group. So they're like, "All right, we're gonna call out your last name, and when we call it out, you sit down." I was like, "Wow, this is perfect." So they called me out, called a couple people out, called me out. I sit down, and I'm just sitting there waiting. I got Taylor P pulled up in my phone under Instagram. I'm just waiting to hear the rest of that last
He
name.
also tried to airdrop me his number.
Yeah, I airdropped a couple people my number. That wasn't my strongest point. But aside from that,
I need to use this.
finally they called out Taylor Presby, and she sat down. So I typed it in really quick, straight right there. Not even a moment of hesitation. I followed her, and I realized I was probably really dumb because I'm sitting right beside her.
I was like, there's no way. He just followed me.
Yeah, I did.
And I like turned to my mom and I was like, Mom, he just followed me. And she was like, what? Follow him back? And I was like, no, that's awkward. But I think I ended up following him right there. And I like tried to look down at him to tell him that I got his like friend request, but he wouldn't even look at me, and I was like, wow, this is even more awkward.
So finally we get through the whole orientation, and we say bye, like good to meet you and stuff, and leave. And they did like a campus walk around tour after the orientation, and it was optional. You could go on it or you didn't have to. And my mom was like, I'm tired, let's go ahead and go home. Like, I already kind of knew the campus. I mean, I've lived beside it for a really long time, so I knew it a little bit. So we went home, but Taylor and her mom decided to do the tour. So I went golfing with a couple buddies, and I guess I have to give them a little credit because they kind of nudged me into it. But on the 18th hole, on the last hole, I told him, I was like, guys, I met this girl tonight at orientation. Pretty cute. Seems like a good girl. You know, I might try to DM her sometime. They're like, no, you need to DM her right now. And I was like, why? And they're like, well, it's still hot. It's still fresh. You need to get the ball rolling while it's still going. I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I DM'd her and I was like, how's the tour? Or how was the tour? Because it had been a couple hours since we'd left. And what'd you say?
I responded and I was like, it was good. It was like the worst tour ever. It was not worth attending, but it would have been better if he was there. But we started talking. Just about everything, I guess. We started talking about where we went to high school, and this was over the summer, so we talked about some of our summer trips, and then we just started talking about working, like a lot of different stuff.
Everything.
Yeah, and
anything we could have talked about.
And our like DMs finally got like so long. Like I was just like, do you want my number?
She asked me for my number first.
I was like, I'm not like, I don't check my DMs religiously. So I was just like, just take my number if you want it. And
That's
right away he texted me and continued the conversation. Not like, hey, it's Alex. He literally just said the next sentence. I was like, okay. And yeah, that was about it. So we have finished our gingerbread house for the night. So cute. And tomorrow we're going to this place that's like 30 minutes away to look at some lights. And apparently you don't drive through it or walk through it. You just park and get out of your car and just watch the light show. So we're going to take you guys with us for that. See you then.